Fairy stories my children love best of all. Chapter 5. The Crane, the Fish, and the Lobster. Many generations ago, a crane lived near a pond, and when the dry season set in, he said to a fish with a bland voice, "Are you not anxious for your future welfare? There is at present very little water and still less food in this pond. What will you do if the whole pond becomes dry?" "Surely," said the fish, "what will we do?" The crane then said, "I know a fine large lake which never becomes dry. Would you not like to be carried there in my bill?" But the fish did not trust the honesty of the crane, so the crane proposed to have one of the fish sent over to the lake to see it. At last, one of them, a big carp, decided to take the risk for the sake of the others. The crane carried him to a beautiful lake and brought him back in safety. Then all doubt vanished. The fish gained confidence and let the crane take them one by one out of their pond. But the crane did not carry them to the large lake as he had promised. He flew to a big tree not very far away, and there he devoured them one at a time until they were all gone. Now there was also a fat lobster in this pond, and as the crane wanted to eat him too, he said to him, "I have taken all the fish away and put them into a fine large lake. Come along, I will take you too." "But how will you take hold of me to carry me?" asked the lobster. "I will take hold of you with my bill," said the crane. "You will let me fall if you carry me like that. I will not go with you," replied the lobster. "You need not fear," replied the crane. "I will hold you quite tight all the way." Then the lobster said, "Look here, friend crane. You will not be able to hold me tight enough, but we lobsters have a famous grip. If you let me catch hold of you round the neck with my claws, I shall be glad to go with you." The crane agreed. He did not see that the cunning lobster was trying to outwit him. So the lobster caught hold of the crane's neck with his claws as securely as with a pair of blacksmith pincers. Then he called out, "Away with you!" The crane took him up and soon showed him the lake, but then he turned off toward the big tree where he had devoured the fish. "My dear uncle," cried the lobster, "the lake lies that way, but you are taking me this way." The crane answered, "Indeed, I am your dear uncle." "Am I? Do you fancy that I am your slave, and that I have to lift you up and carry you about wherever you please? Now cast your eye upon that heap of fish bones at the root of yonder tree. Just as I have eaten every one of the fish, so I will devour you as well." "No, you will not," answered the lobster. "I am not so stupid as the fish you devoured. I am not going to let you kill me. On the contrary, I am going to destroy you. If we die, we both die together, for I will cut off your head and cast it to the ground." So saying, he gave the crane's neck a grip with his claws as with a vice. Then the crane gasped, and with tears trickling from his eyes and trembling with the fear of death, he cried out, "Oh, my lord, indeed, I did not intend to eat you. Grant me my life." "Very well," replied the lobster. "Fly down and put me into the lake." Thereupon the crane turned round and flew down to the lake to place the lobster on the mud at its edge. But just as the crane reached the edge of the lake, the lobster cut his neck through as clean as one would cut a lotus stalk with a hunting knife. Then the lobster crawled into the water and was happy. End of chapter 5.